and I saw makeup as a necessity. I had a food category, like a rent category. I had a makeup category. It was that essential. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. So today's minimalism video is going to be talking about the things that I have broken up with in my minimalism journey, primarily talking about hyperconsumption. So I have 4 things that I have broken up or have done the best to break up with in my minimalism journey, and I figured that that might help somebody else out because I feel like a lot of you guys are really resonating with my minimalism content. I find my minimalism content videos are performing like better again. I don't know if it's just like a wave or if like honestly I can understand the housing is out of control and inflation, so I get it. Anyway, so I figured that these might help somebody else out, so let's get right into them. Okay, so number 1, makeup. So this one is kind of more recent in my minimalism journey. Even in my hardcore extreme minimalism days, I still let myself have makeup, and everyone's minimalism journey is different. In my journey, I wasn't comfortable giving up makeup for a really long time, even in my extreme minimalism. It wasn't actually until I quit being a minimalist and I took a minimalism break is when it was in that time where I had an abundance of other things that I felt like minimalism makeup wasn't the only thing that made me happy, and that helped me a lot. But yeah, let's just talk about the relationship I had with makeup. I didn't feel like it was a bad relationship at the time, to be honest. I still do love makeup. I'm wearing makeup for this video and I still think it's very beautiful and it is an art form, but the relationship I had with it was probably not very healthy, and this is just clearly a me problem. You can be a minimalist and love makeup and have makeup and wear makeup. I am a minimalist who wears makeup. I know that in the minimalism community, especially when I first started, when I was a lot younger, a lot of minimalists, one of the first things that they got rid of was makeup and makeup habit and makeup beauty labor. But what I'm trying to say is the relationship that I had with makeup was not healthy. I felt like I wasn't beautiful without it. I kind of relied on it as a crutch. I was fearful of how people would treat me if I didn't wear makeup, and I saw makeup as a necessity. I had a food category, like a rent category. I had a makeup category. It was that essential. These are all just me problems, but I really worked on my relationship with myself and my self-esteem and my self-worth to really kind of come to a better place with my makeup. I also did a makeup no-buy for 2 years, and I did a makeup rehab, and I would journal how I felt about stuff. So I feel like I have a really healthy relationship with makeup. So yeah, I don't really buy much makeup like at all, to be honest. I might have picked up like a few bits and bobs, but like nothing like it was before. So I have definitely saved a lot of money. I probably don't spend more than like $30 a year on makeup, which is fantastic. Number 2, something that I have kind of recently quit, and this actually came about after my minimalism break, but yeah, I don't really buy much retail clothing, with the exception being some of the pieces that I had picked up during my minimalism break. But yeah, some retail clothing that I was like absolutely obsessed with, and I'll be honest, I'm still obsessed with, but I will get to that in a sec. Yeah, I loved buying a lot of stuff from Lululemon. I like buying a lot of stuff from like Aritzia, from Ralph Polo Lauren, anything that I found at Winners. I felt like I had like a really big void, and that could have just been part of my minimalism journey, just kind of like a reaction to my extreme minimalism. But I definitely bought a lot of clothes last year. But recently, these past couple months, I think I probably want to say after the Hawaii trip, I've kind of called down this like insatiable desire for clothes, or at least retail clothes. So I actually started thrifting after the Hawaii trip. I don't know why, I just kind of got into my head that I was like, I still want to shop, but this is getting really expensive. So I was like, why don't I check out the thrift stores? Like, I've heard some crazy things about some of the pieces that you can find, and it's true, some of the pieces that I have found are like under, $10, $5. There are pricier stuff like my merino wool sweater, which was like $15, but generally speaking, thrifting lets me pick up new stuff or like introduce new to me, because some of it is secondhand. Although I have found new pieces with the tag still on, it lets me kind of have a rotation of things, and I feel a lot more sustainable, both economically and also environmentally. Like, I'm not producing as much waste. I'm giving secondhand items a second life, which has been really good. So in terms of that, like, I still do buy clothes, but now I've kind of gone the secondhand route, which I like to think is probably a more sustainable option. But just also as a whole, I really don't buy much clothes because I've also been really blessed to have a social media account where, yeah, I get sent free clothes. It's getting to the point where it's like it's on the monthly, and they send me, 10 items, 7 items, which is more than I would even buy myself in like a year or two. So because of that, with this is surplus and abundance of clothes, I don't really have much of a need to shop for clothes. And I shifted my attention away to reading more and video producing more, which has been really good. And just generally speaking, working more. I've been working on my own business a lot more, which is why my social media has kind of fallen to the side. But yeah, because of that, my life is like in a different stage. I don't really buy as much as I did last year, where I definitely did a lot of shopping last year. Okay, number 3, retail jewelry. So I actually got into jewelry because I got married. So this all all started off with like me picking up some like gold pieces for my wedding as like wedding gifts that would be like long life pieces that I would have for the rest of my life. And then Will and I, we have been engaged or had been engaged for 3 years, and then I was like, now that we're married and we have a bit more disposable income, why don't we get like a proper engagement ring? So we started shopping around and learning about gold and white gold, 14 karat, 10 karat, retail, and like secondhand and all that good stuff. And I learned a lot about jewelry. So I've actually, Will and I, we buy less, more like things that could like wear out. Like makeup doesn't really have much resale value and it does expire over time. Clothes do get worn out. So it's like any surplus or disposable income, we've kind of now started putting towards like gold or like jewelry pieces. So because of that, I've stopped buying retail pieces. I was buying retail pieces. I was buying Michael Hill pieces, primarily Michael Hill. I even was considering Mignon, and I just kind of felt like the prices were kind of pricey, but I was like, oh, but it's gold. But through that whole journey, I kind of realized that I don't need to buy retail for gold. I can definitely get better value for my money. I'm doing estate and pawn shop. So I actually did share that in my birthday haul video, some estate pieces. And I feel like you get a much better value for your money. Like you're getting like a more vintage aesthetic, which I feel is much more beautiful for a fraction of the cost. Retail jewelry looks really basic. It's catered to the masses. It's mass produced. So it's like you pay more and it's not as pretty. So I've kind of shifted away from buying retail jewelry, and because with retail jewelry you really do have to consider or like take into consideration that like you're paying for the rent of the place inside of the mall, the shipping and like the production and all of that stuff that's factored into the cost, right? Before they make their profit, which is nothing wrong with that. As somebody who ran her own jewelry store, like I totally understand that and respect that. But for me personally, something that is part of my minimalism journey is that I'm actually a lot happier with the things that I'm able to get a better value for my money and is more sustainable than just buying it secondhand. And that's just where I'm at in my journey, and that's my own personal preference. I know that's not for everyone. Wasn't for me either for a really long time either. I felt like I needed to have it new, but once I saw what I was getting for new and what I could get at an estate, I was like, yeah, it kind of shifted my perspectives. Like, I want a lot for my money. Okay, so let's talk about the fourth thing that I have, or Will and I have recently broken up with in this hyperconsumption, is that we don't eat out as much anymore. I think for those of you who would see on my Instagram, we definitely ate out a lot last year. That was like our shtick. And that's just where we were at in our life journey. We were very accustomed to eating out. We always ate out in China and we always ate out in Taiwan because it's very affordable. So we just kind of always just had that habit, and so we continue doing that here. Obviously not when we first came back. We were so strapped for money at that time, but I think after doing that for about like a year or two, I think we kind of got bored and tired of it. We actually really do enjoy eating at home now, especially because we got like an espresso machine, so we have an espresso at home, and it's just, I feel like I'm in my cozy vibes. Like I can wear like my comfy clothes and like have my like food and just be comfy and cozy, whereas I kind of got to the point where I was like, oh, I have to get dressed and go out just to eat. Like, it's kind of not worth it. So because of that, we shifted to eating at home. We've actually saved quite a bit. I think somewhere between like 300 to 400 a month just by not eating out, which is great because you can use that to like do other things with, or even just save it and invest it. So these are all the things that I have reduced in my life. I'm not saying that all of these are things that I've completely cut out. That's unrealistic and isn't true. And I don't really believe in extremes. That's not my vibe. I prefer to tell the truth and say that it's not something that I don't do. I just do less of it. And I feel a lot happier. I feel like there's a lot more balance when I do it. I'm happy, and if I don't do it, like, it's okay. So yeah, I hope that this could have helped anybody else out, that you don't need to be constantly eating out, buying makeup all the time, retail clothes, and as TikTok would have you believe, as you live in your best life. You can definitely live your best life with those things in moderation. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this could have been helpful for someone, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.